Hey guys, Vico here. Welcome back to the channel. It has been quite some time since my last video. I've been out with work and I actually fell ill about a week ago. I got bit by something and it tore up my leg with the worst imaginable rash, and for the last week and for the continuing 2 weeks I'm going to be heavily medicated, so you have to forgive my slurred speech for now. Work has been horrendous, so no videos, but I did post something on my channel promising a new one, so here it is. I'm recording this now on the 18th, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to post this, so trying to get at least a portion of it done now. So, work. It is what it is, right? Speaking of work, where I am here, I'm from Colorado originally, but I'm in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, so for any of you that listen in the Virginia area, I'd like your opinion on the traffic here on Interstate 64. Virginia drivers, really? What is going on with the way you guys drive in the left lane, although the left lane's the fast lane, yet you insist that that's the slow lane? I had to adjust my driving in this region to reflect kind of like Europe, where I'm passing on the right. I really don't understand what's going on down here with Virginia drivers, in particular on the peninsula down here in the Hampton Roads region. I've never seen this level of driving, with the exception of possibly New Jersey. I look forward to going back out to Colorado if the Army seems it fit to send me out there. On to the games. I've been in Blitz a lot lately. I'm up to 6,000 games as of this morning, and I've had a good string of games and a few bad ones, and I'd like to highlight each one. So, Wargaming has put the Tier 5 Chinukai Japanese medium premium tank into World of Tanks Blitz. There are no other Japanese tanks, just this one. Of course, it has the ridiculous paint scheme, as do the other premium novelty tanks like the E25 or the T-3485 Victory with those paint schemes. They call it the Shinobi. Yeah. I say it's a one-trick pony. The gun is great, but you really need to be careful about your armor. If you're top tier, you can angle it and survive, but if you're not, you might have to snipe if you put binoculars on it. But 720 hit points for a tier 5 medium. Hull armor's 50, 25, and 20. Turret armor's 25, 50, 50. Average damage with the gun is great, 150. Average damage with 120 average penetration. Not bad. So, like I said, one-trick pony. The speed is crap. I can get it to about 39 kph on the flat, but that's on the flat, on a solid surface with great ground resistance. If you want it, get it. There's two options. I don't know how long it'll be in the gift shop, but if you like collecting novelty tanks like I do, then it's worth it. But if not, they're easy to kill. You can use WoT Inspector or Tank Inspector, any of those, to look at the collision models on it. It's crap. I've played with all kinds of different guns to look at what I can penetrate it with and what I can't, and I haven't seen many in the game to kill, other than when I was in one as well. British tank destroyers are finally here. I know many of you are likely excited about the British tank destroyer tech tree. It starts out crap, just like in the PC version. Once you get up into the tortoise size, not the tortoise itself, which is a beautiful tank destroyer, but that type, like the AT-15A and all that body type, they're difficult to kill from the front, and I notice a lot of people have new tank syndrome with it, and nobody understands that commanders has that giant bulbous nipple on the top of the higher tier British tank destroyers is an easy target, especially when you have great gun depression. Guys, what the hell are you doing trying to take one of these front on? Once you get up to tier 10, of course, I've only seen about 3 in my gameplay. The FV215B183, we all call it the Death Star. I've seen a few, and that is absolutely full-blown 100% new tank syndrome with people encountering the Death Star. You people realize that it only has, I forget how many, 12 shots that it can shoot, and that's no matter what your armament arrangement is. 12 shots, I think. And the reload is horrendous, worse than the KV-5 if I'm not mistaken, or the KV-2 if I'm not mistaken. So, having said that, guys, Blitz players, why don't you flank the Death Star? I know situation dictates, and I get that, and sometimes you guys are overwhelmed, and I've been in that situation, but if you can flank it, why not? It will one-shot most tier 9s unless you get a low roll, and tier 10s will reduce it down to double-digit health unless you're angled very well in a mouse or an E100 or an IS-8, for example. But if you like the grind, and I've seen it already, which means people are putting a lot of money into their free experience to grind up to the FV215B183. I've only seen a few. A lot of people I notice stick with the Tortoise, which is my recommendation at tier 9. I would play it like a heavy. I only have the AT7 right now. I was fortunate enough to have, for my other video, the Churchill gun carrier, which I predicted would lead into a British tank destroyer tech tree. I'm not fancy on tank destroyers, as some of you know. I'm more, especially in Blitz, I prefer my heavies and my mediums. But if you like tank destroyers and you like armor, and you know how to face your armor front towards enemy, then the British tech tree is the way to go. Unless you like the Panzer E100, which is also deadly. Speaking of E100s, I just got my E100 a couple days ago. I'm new to the tier 10 world, and I'm still struggling with the E100. I've had some great games, and I've had some nasty games where the repair costs and the ammunition costs were horrendous. So I've really had to, I don't want to say treat the game more seriously, but get serious about how I'm playing and actually pay attention. There's, in the E100, at least for my ability, there's no level of seal clubbing. I'm at 6,000 games with nearly 3,000 efficiency, and I'm struggling. It's part of it is fail teams. Part of it is ineptitude of other team members, especially low tier. If you're an E100 and the lowest tier is an 8, and they're trying to dictate the situation of where you should go on the map, okay. But I blame me more so than I blame the other players for my failures in the E100. I'm still learning. Side scraping well, angling perfectly, but when you get overwhelmed by their tanks, you're not going to win that, and I'm not complaining about it. I just think I need to stick with other tier 10s and maybe play support, and I've done it before where I've played support, but so playing support, but I don't get as much XP or money, but I win. So I might do that until I get used to the E100. Now, a question I have for you with the E100, I got shamed in game chat for this. I helped reduce a couple other tanks to low health, so I switched to high explosive. I'm not going to use heat rounds when I know that I can penetrate the side or rear of a tank. So why would you hate on somebody in game chat when they use HE to take the final 200 hit points off of another tank, especially a low tier? You're saving money. I think it's tactically sound. Do you disagree? HE, when you hit the side or rear of a tank with that E100, is great. Why would I want to use armor penetration armor penetration rounds when I know that I can simply use splash damage? I've only had to use heat when I had no choice when I was front on with a mouse to penetrate the cheeks of his turret, which led to a kill. And I've had to do it a couple times with, a couple other tanks, and the splash damage alone. But when you have an E100 with those nice flat cheeks in the front, and you have no choice when you're brawling just to get that kill, I don't see the problem. So players, if you disagree with me, I'd like to know. I see no issue with using HE when it's appropriate, and it's helped me get more victories out of that tank. I've noticed a surge of South American players, especially Argentinians and Brazilians, lately, more so in the NA server on Blitz than I have in past months. And I think with the onset of the clans really helped me identify who's who, because everything's in Spanish. But lately, this past month, has been a surge of South American players. Now, the argument is, well, they don't have their own server. They're all generally within the same time zones as all of us in the United States, the 4 time zones we have here. It makes sense. Wargaming doesn't have to build another server for them. Although, sometimes when you choose to communicate, the language barrier exists. But what I don't understand about this demographic of players, I don't care about the language barrier or all that, it's the level of haters, griefers, and trolls that I've seen from people in South America that are playing on the NA server. The incessant trolling. I was on the Port Bay map 2 days ago in a KV2. Everybody was flanking, and when the map got lit up, I wanted to come around and flank the other side and do a little bit of what KV2s do best with the peekaboom style of game. But there was a SU-152, and I forget the player's name. With a that tank destroyer is much more mobile if I'm on a hill trying to get around him, and he just kept spamming negative, 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 and wouldn't let me pass. I don't know why. I mean, if he's trying to dictate the outcome of the game because I'm not going the direction he wants to, keep in mind after the game was over I checked his stats, and of course it was 400 games played with 100 efficiency. A win rate of, I think, 30%. Big surprise, right? But the problem is, why? Because Wargaming doesn't have an in-game reporting, I had to take screenshots and I sent it in. I don't have time for that. To deal with players like that, it's toxic to the level of enjoyment that you can get out of Blitz, even though lately it's for every 2 or 3 games I have 15 crap games that are just falling apart. Maybe it's time for me to find another game. I really like Blitz, though. World of Warships, the Tirpitz is in. Now that World of Warships is gone from beta to live, I won't be getting it. I'm not interested in battleships whatsoever. I prefer my destroyers. I say it all the time. I'm working on my Hosho, I think it's a tier 5. I can't think straight. The meds. The Hosho is a tier 5 aircraft carrier, and I'm grinding that right now. I'm sticking with the destroyers, but I haven't played since the Tirpitz was introduced to the NA server, but I really can't wait to tear some apart. I'm very efficient with destroyers, crap with everything else. Aircraft carriers are much like artillery in World of Tanks, except as long as you move your vessel around and have situational awareness that your planes can be followed back to their origin, you can be very, very effective and deadly with an aircraft carrier, which is why I like it. And it is more like a real-time strategy game as opposed to an MMO war game. While you're looking in a top-down view, everybody else is battling it out. But the Tirpitz. It has torpedoes, guys. Stop sailing in straight lines. I know it has nasty guns. I just can't wait to tear it apart. It's a lot like the Atlanta. If the Atlanta didn't have crap range, well, that's why. I love tearing apart Atlantas, and I have one, and I've had to buddy up with battleships just to keep my Atlanta alive. I love tearing apart destroyers in my Atlanta, but it's much too expensive, and I regret the purchase. And I intend on making people regret buying the Atlanta and the Tirpitz. Beautiful ship, though. What else is going on? I haven't touched any of the Star Wars Galaxies emulator platforms at all. I've just been incredibly busy, and as you can hear, quite medicated. But I do look forward to getting into more World of Warships. I haven't touched World of Tanks but once in the past month, and I played 3 games. I had great success in my FV304, as I usually do. But I just don't have the time to invest, and World of Tanks has become so toxic on the PC platform that unless you have spent more of your personal time playing the game than you have reality, you will not be successful with World of Tanks, and it can become just a waste of time with money, and that's the only way. It's pay to win. What do you call it? Freemium? Sure, it's free to play, but do you want to win? You got to pay. The platform on Blitz, the maps are a lot smaller. It's easy for me to win, and I enjoy playing. If you really want to have fun, get a T-82 with the derp howitzer. Hang out, camp at the back for just a minute until the map situates itself, and then you can surprise one-shot almost anybody. I know this isn't new, but I found it quite a relief. The Micro Mouse, the Panzer 38H, based off of the French Hotchkiss tank, I have enjoyed that. As if you're top tier, that is a great stress relief, depending on the map, depending on the tank destroyers, and definitely depending on the tier, of course. But that is really fun. You can barely angle, and you'll bounce all the shots from the German autoloaders. You might have to use some premium ammo every now and then, but the frustration you can see in the way people play trying to take you out, especially when they try to flank you. The hull traverse is great. The penetration on the gun is horrible, but that's how it's balanced. And I'm trying not to stick with the lower tiers. I'm at the T-44 on the British or the Soviet medium line, and I'm really hoping to get both the T-62A and the Object 140 soon. Those Soviet mediums, I would say, are among the best, at least in the Blitz platform, for taking out other players, as long as you can partner up with other mediums and have a wolf pack style of play. And I really like it, no matter if I win or lose, when there's a wolf pack on either team. It's a beautiful thing, and I love to watch it. If I get taken out or not, win or lose, it's great seeing the wolf pack. And you barely see it in Blitz. I see it all the time. I saw it all the time when I used to play World of Tanks on the PC, and I love being a part of it. So, looking forward, I'm thinking about bringing new games into the channel based off of the mobile platform, which is the only time I have. You guys know the games I already play. If you have some other suggestions, free-to-play games, I'd love to try them out over time, and of course reviews and whatnot. I try not to stick with the video blog style, but this is all I can afford for now, based on time, is to just tell you guys what's going on. Mid-September, I just had my birthday here a few days ago. Good for me. Looking into the fall, as people start getting into their houses, I'm pretty sure the level of gameplay on any platform, wargaming platform, is going to go to shit. World of Warships has gone slightly down when open beta came out. I'm sure World of Tanks, after kids get out of school is just going to go to shit. So I don't think I'm going to touch the PC World of Tanks for quite some time, unless it's just sheer boredom. They just replaced the Yag Tiger 88 with the Cannon and Yag Panzer. I'm not going to get it. I don't like tank destroyers at all. They have their purpose. But it is what it is. What else? I think that's it. Let's see if Blitz introduces the Japanese line in a later publish. If they do, I really look forward to the Japanese medium line. Other than that, we'll see what happens. I don't think Blitz will ever introduce the French line. It would be a mistake. The game's getting too busy as it is. They would have to make the maps bigger. And they can only do so much with a mobile platform, or a lot of people, and I can tell, are playing from their phones, and their thumbs are in the way. It is what it is. So, apologies for my slurred speech and rambling, but that's what this series is all about, is me rambling about what's on my mind. Until the next time, folks, I hope to see you guys in the game. Send me an in-game chat in Blitz if you're interested in talking. By all means, leave comments about what you like and don't like, and give the channel a like. Until next time, I'll see you guys out there.